What if loneliness isn't empty space, but a presence that learns to speak, remember, and love you back? In the Twilight Zone episode, The Lonely, a man sentenced to solitary confinement on a desolate asteroid begins to lose his grip until he's given a robot companion who seems to feel and love. But when freedom calls, he must decide what's truly real and what was only ever made to keep him company. These tarot questions are inspired by the haunting idea of loneliness taking form, of isolation learning how to mimic humanity. Let's shuffle the cards and see what happens when silence begins to stare back. Hello everybody, welcome back, and welcome if this is your first time on my channel. So we're going to hop right in, as we always do, for this Twilight Zone-inspired episode 7. The first question here that we're going to ask on is, what force might enter when we're cut off from everything familiar? So we're wanting to know if isolation is ever really empty space, or is there something in there that if we talk out loud, we're alone and we talk out loud, something answers back? Let's see about that. Okay, we have Everything is Beautiful. It's a very pretty card. Okay, and we are starting out with Oracle. I like to do that because Oracle, as I often say, doesn't care what I think and starts giving the story. Whereas Tarot, if I have some kind of a story in my mind, I feel like Tarot gives me what I want, not what I'm asking for, at least for me. Ooh, there we've got Summer. Okay. So yeah, it's better to start with Oracle because it doesn't care what I think. All right, so one more and then one more, and we'll start reading here. Bringing up Baby. All right, so we're going to get started with the reading here. So the question again was, what force might enter when we're cut off from everything familiar? So basically, is isolation or being in isolation, is it an empty place? Everything is beautiful. I think what this is saying is isolation or being cut off from everything that's familiar is going to be either a good experience or a bad experience, and it's going to be up to you what kind of experience it actually is going to be. It is how you react to that experience. I also feel like this card is saying you're never really alone. There's always some kind of living something buzzing around you, like a butterfly, a fly, things like that. There's always some kind of living something there. But also being alone, being by yourself, should be a beautiful thing. You shouldn't dread it, even if it's for a long period of time. You should really enjoy your own company, if you can. Should really enjoy your own company. And it should feel warm and inviting, and where you can do so many different things, because longer daylight hours and in the summer months, just a really, well, you know how summer kind of makes you feel. To some degree, it can be too hot at times, but at the start of summer, it's pretty much perfect. You've got 70s and 80s. Everything is blooming. Everything is beautiful, and it just feels good. So isolation should feel good. It is also a time where you can connect up to that inner child, the one that you haven't talked to for a long time. and to get past the robotic lifestyle, not allow yourself to go into that every day is same old, same old. I mean, if you're in isolation of some sort and you're all alone, you're not going to see, let's say you work in a lighthouse and you're not going to see any people for a long time. You want to keep looking at the beautiful things about being on your own. Not the, oh, everything is robotic, I don't get to see anybody, I am none of that. This is a time to revel in the privacy, the quiet, and allow yourself to get in touch with yourself. Then we have Gladiator, Nostalgia, and Suspect. Okay, so with Gladiator, this is a card that I like to see as showing your authentic self, learning who you are. You can do this when you're in isolation. So when you're on your own, the force that might come through that you probably don't expect is you, your inner child, your authentic self, your memories, things that you are suspect of, things that make you, things that you're afraid of. Your shadow stuff might start coming up. So you're not really alone. You're with you. You're with your higher mind. You're with your child self. And that can bring up so many different things. So let's see what tarot has to add to this. Okay, so everything is beautiful. We have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, I think especially when you first get out there on your own, wherever you are. I just chose a lighthouse as an example, but I mean, wherever you are, if you're by yourself, maybe you've chosen a cabin by the lake and that's where you are, but all the beauty of everything, of the quiet, of the just the smells, everything about it is going to come rushing at you. And the passion that you feel for where you are is going to be amazing. And then we have the Tower. Now the Tower, for some, in some cases I should say, the Tower is a bad card. It is a card that is a doom crying card in a way. It is also, though, an aha moment. This is your appreciation of the warmth of being by yourself, the wonder of being by yourself with no other people. The quiet is going to be astounding with no other people. So this is kind of your aha moment after you've been hit by the beauty. And even if you're not in, a place that has all this beauty, you're still somewhere that you could probably find some kind of beauty in. Then we have the Two of Cups. Yeah, this is always my card for bringing together parts of self. And in this case, for some, it's bringing light and dark part of self together. It's just learning about who you are, having all your parts come together and love who you are. So in talking with your childhood self, you're going to be learning a little bit of something. Gladiator, we have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, your authentic self is not a victim. Your authentic self is a powerful being. And that is who's going to enjoy the isolation and the force that enters in, which is you. your higher self, some part of you comes in when you are on your own. And that self is powerful. And we have the Four of Cups. There might be some memories that you would prefer just to push aside and not pay attention to. Maybe those will come later. And with Suspect, we have the Five of Pentacles. And there might be some things that are trying to sneak in there to ruin this for you, to make it chaotic instead of make it a pleasant experience. And it will be up to you. Those things are going to come forth and you need to be suspect of them. Suspect them for what they are. All right, so let us get cleaned up here and move on to question 2. If you're new to my channel, you might think, good Lord, why is she cleaning up so slowly? I like to put the cards in this way. It might take a little bit longer, but I know that they are going to be mixed, and I know that I'm not going to get duplicate cards that don't mean something. And I do the same with the oracle cards. I don't put them back into the same pile I pulled them from, and I kind of just lift the pile, stick them in. That way, again, if I get duplicate cards or a card more than once, I know that it's meant to come out, and it's not because I didn't shuffle properly or, you know. So, question 2. What form might loneliness take if it wanted to keep us? So this is asking, if you're on yourself long enough, is loneliness going to come to you with a face? Are you going to hear a voice? Is it going to be a specific memory? So let's see how it would come forth for you. Ooh. Okay, we have the Giver. And we have What Dreams May Come. Ah. Wants to take off across the table. All right, then we have the Blob. And does anyone really know what time it is? Okay. All right. So with the Giver, well, let's do the question here quick again. What form might loneliness take if it wanted to keep us? Does it wear a face? Is it a voice? Is it a perfect memory? So let's say in your place of isolation, everything that you think about or wish for is there for you. Maybe the form your loneliness takes is the Giver. Somebody who just gives you everything that you want, everything that you need. Maybe that force comes to you in your dreams. Maybe that force is not discernible as yet. Maybe it's taking a little time for you to be able to isolate who or what you're working with, what force loneliness is for you. One thing you are definitely certain of is that you have no idea what time it is. Even if you have a watch, you have no concept of time when you're by yourself. No concept of time at all. So let's see if it's going to give us more. Rain of Fire, Independence Day, and Ain't No Mountain High Enough. So with Rain of Fire, I get the feeling that I should say what came to mind immediately, what got fed into my mind immediately, downloaded, was the voice of the dragon in Merlin. So I'm feeling as though this is going to be a voice. It's not going to be something physical that you can hold on to. It is possible that you could hear the voice in your dream, but it would not be, it's not really going to be anything visual. So not physical, not visual. The blob, this is just an unexplainable, it's not going to be something that's unexplainable. We'll put it that way. So I think it's going to be a voice that is going to be the main, or at least the very first form that you notice is a voice. It is the first time you're going to realize that you're not actually alone. And it may be such a thing as you try to get away from this voice, but you're not going to be able to. Ain't no mountain high enough. And on Independence Day, the little writing up here says, the question of whether or not we are alone in the universe has been answered. So like I said, you're going to find out, even though you're isolated, because you're hearing this voice, you're not alone. And you're not going to be able to get away from it. So let's see what comes next with tarot. Now, this is not to say that other forms may come into the picture as time goes on, but I think it's just saying the voice is going to come first. So we have the High Priestess. At the start, I think it's a secret. You have no idea how you're going to be communicated with, or that you even are being communicated with. Queen of Swords. A lot of truth can be given in your dreams. Comfort, even. But it's going to be comfortable truth. And with the King of Wands, yeah, this is a powerful energy, but it's an unexplained or unexplainable energy. The Emperor, yes, this is the voice. The voice is going to be the first one out, the one in control of anything physical, of anything, I'm going to say ethereal for dreams, and for anything unexplained. Wheel of Fortune. This is just saying that things are changing. Things are changing. Life is not going to be the same. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. Yep, but you know, you need to decide one way or another if you're going to be able to deal with this voice or you're not. And is it time to run or time to stay? Okay, so here we're cleaning up here again. We have 6 questions to this episode, and we will be asking question 3 here in just a moment. So I'm enjoying very much doing these different episodes based on or inspired by Twilight Zone, and I never get ever what I expect. It seems like it's always a surprise, even for me. So if you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also consider sharing and maybe even commenting. That'd be awesome too. All right, so question 3. How does this presence earn our trust or our love? So what we want to know is it mimicking what we miss, or is it actually becoming something we need? Now remember, we're isolated, and maybe we're on a desert island somewhere. We've been stranded like on Castaway. The blob shows up again. Everything is beautiful. And this is interesting because with all the different readings I've done so far, the first question on this episode, that's the first time I've seen that card in a reading. Now it's popped up twice. Okay. Towering Inferno. Shambhala. Okay, so with the blob, question first. How does this presence earn our trust or our love? Is it mimicking what we miss or becoming what we need? Okay, so the blob, this is what we determined an unexplainable thing. So this is something that we cannot explain, no matter, even if we had somebody else come forward or come into our camp or come on the desert island or up in the lighthouse, wherever we are and where we're by ourselves for a long period of time, we would not be able to explain the voice to anybody. It is unique to us. And everything is beautiful and everything is beautiful. On the card it says uniqueness. So this is a unique force, we're going to say, a very unique force. And at first, we might actually consider it to be dangerous, as the Towering Inferno. We might consider it to be dangerous, but as time goes on, we are embracing it as something that gives us comfort, something that feels like a higher truth, something that makes us feel very loved and comforted. Ain't no mountain high enough. The fifth dimension. And bus stop. So no matter what we do, as was said on the last question, we're not going to be able to get away from this force, this voice. And it's going to talk to us a lot. We're going to feel the commitment that it has towards us, which again is comforting, right? Perhaps it is the higher mind, our higher self, that is doing the talking. Maybe it is a being from another dimension. Maybe it's us in the fifth dimension. Whoever it is, even though we know we probably shouldn't be hearing voices and it probably should stop, we don't want it to stop because it puts us in Shambhala. So let's see what Tarot has to share. So it does appear that it's earning our trust and our love by offering us what makes us feel good. and what we need, obviously. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, this is the ultimate communication. We cannot explain this to anyone. Only we understand it. Four of Cups. It is unique. And even though we might try to fight it and, say, we really don't want to be a part of this, please don't talk to us. It's so beautiful and so unique that it's only kind of a half-hearted argument in a way. With the Four of Cups, you're looking for structure, you're looking for stability, and that voice, because it's unique and it feels beautiful, offers that. Page of Cups. It could, with the Towering Inferno, obviously be dangerous, but the Page of Cups is saying, no, this is new love. It's new love. Nine of Cups. You're almost to the ultimate happiness. Almost. You haven't quite got the trust down yet, but you're almost there. Then we have Justice. Things are becoming balanced. You don't want to run now, and you couldn't even if you tried. Then we have the Five of Swords. What you're hearing may feel chaotic, but it also feels very high-minded. And we have the Four of Pentacles. It's something that you want to hold on to. You probably think you should want it to stop, but you actually want to hold on to it. So let's see what question 4 will bring. Whoa. Oops, forgot one. All right, into the piles they go. Love that Shambhala card, it's so pretty. Okay, here we go. All right, so question 4. What hidden price might we pay for accepting its comfort, meaning this force, this voice? Does this, I'm just going to say voice, does this voice feed on longing or rewrite who we are? So what is the hidden price? Tunnel of Love. Nostalgia. Whoa. Almost dropped that whole pile. At least half of it. Roadhouse. E.T. Okay, so the question again was, what hidden price might we pay for accepting this voice's comfort? Does it feed on longing or rewrite who we are? Tunnel of love. It looks like we'll have a very focused view of love through this voice. Whatever words it's speaking to you, I feel like it has to do with memories. Perhaps it's bringing forth, speaking of things that you remember, speaking of things that were important to you. Going back to your childhood. Remember, we talked about bringing you back to your child self. And defending you. Maybe when you have thoughts come up in your mind about, how bad somebody treated you from a memory that you get, it defends you. It says, no, that wasn't your fault. You did all you could. And perhaps it makes you feel as though you're home. So let's see where else we go here. We have the bone collector. We have the giver. And we have War of the Worlds. With the bone collector, when we're talking about what price might we pay for accepting its comfort, there's going to be a lot of detail in the information that you are receiving. It's not necessarily, it's going to give. Even if you don't want it to give, it's going to give the information that maybe you really aren't wanting to focus upon, that you really don't want to hear, that you don't want to face, that makes you feel maybe at war with yourself, at war with the world. It's going to give you a lot of information, and you're by yourself. You can't really shut it off. And you can't run away from it, because remember, there's ain't no mountain high enough. But it's going to continue telling you that it's because of love. It's doing this out of love. So let's see what tarot has to share. We have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, it's not going to walk away from you. Not going to happen. You're in a tunnel of love with this voice. And I hate to say there is a way out, but yeah, you're not going to be able to walk away. And the nostalgia. There might be some things you really don't want to hear about your life. And you might be telling it, no, I don't want to hear that, but it's not going to matter. Two of Swords. Yeah, this voice knows where your strong points are and your weak points are. It knows what you see, what you don't see. And it defends you when you need to be defended. Death. The transformation that you feel from, say, loneliness. You've been isolated for months and months and months. You're so lonely. You're wanting real company, meaning a person to talk to. It makes you feel at home. It transforms you. That longing. Transforms that longing. Queen of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of details and a lot of truth it's going to throw at you, for sure. Things that you ordinarily wouldn't probably want to face. Four of Pentacles. It's also going to hold on to you. Going to keep on giving. Keep on telling you things. Keep on talking to you about things you may not wish to hear. Yeah, we have the Magician here. it's trying to, I want to say, manifest the life that you actually wanted to have. Manifest the memories that you actually wanted to have, because it's right under the nostalgia. To make the life the way that you wanted from your memories, so that kind of like rewriting your memories. And it did talk about rewriting who we are. So as it continues, it is possible that it is rewriting your memories to a more beneficial to you, so that you come out of this isolation a different person, a better person. So it might be a price to have to live through this and listen to all this from this voice, but yeah. And what this kind of reminds me of is in the movies, what do they call it? Native Americans, they have it's a quest, some kind of a vision quest. Like they go on a vision quest. Maybe it's 40 days in the desert or something. I don't know. But it's some kind of a vision quest. And I feel like that's actually what this is talking about in a way. So let us pick up and see what question 5 has to share. Keep wanting to put the bigger cards in with the tarot deck. Keep running down the line here. Whoops. Stay. All right. So question 5. When it's time to leave the illusion behind, who or what tries to stop us? Is it the presence itself or the part of us that no longer wants to be free? Okay, so when it's time to leave the illusion behind, when it's time to come out of isolation or out of the vision quest, who or what tries to stop us from leaving? We have Ghostbusters. We have Love Train. Fear. Oops. Okay. Die Hard. Okay, so when it's time to leave the illusion behind or leave isolation, who or what tries to stop us? I feel like as this voice spoke to you and brought forward information from memories for you, and you got to have conversations to some degree with the people from those memories. I feel like those people are saying, wait, no, if you leave, you won't be able to talk to us anymore. We're here. It says they're here. And it says to save the world, but they're here. We're on your love train. And they might be trying to make you feel afraid about leaving and going back out into the world and never being able to see them again. But you know that it is important for you to go and that you're done. It's over. You've done what you needed to do. We have Backdraft, Jet Airliner, and Steel Magnolias. So this voice has allowed you to talk to a lot of different people that from your memories, as well as your childhood self, as well as your higher self, maybe your spirit guides, etc. Now, your spirit guides and your higher self and your child self are not going to be the ones to try and keep you there. These are those memories of certain people. It's a supernatural event. The love train is waiting. But again, you might have some fear. They might be trying to put some fear into you that you'll never find this again if you leave. But you know that it's time for you to go. It's been too long. You need to continue on. And they throw another volley at you. Regardless of that. It's just a backdraft. You have a moment of thinking back again, and the voice says, no, 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 it's time to go. This is your progress. It might make you sad to leave, but you need to go forward. Okay, so go forward. And you do, and you find your life out there, okay, in amongst family and friends. And the love train is right above. People who love you. You find your place. And you're even a more whole person for the experience that you went through. Your vision quest. And I have to call it that because that's how it feels. It's like having an understanding of your life like you never did before. Going through this vision quest and having a whole new appreciation for life when you come out of it. So let's see what Tarot has to say. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yes, there's a lot of people that were brought to you for this quest. Temperance. You've come to a point where you love being alone. You love being with people. You're at a balance point. You know that you can go out there and be with people and be happy again. You know that you can be okay on your own. Page of Cups. Yeah. Nothing to fear. This is a message of love. It's what it was meant for. Death. Yes. You're transformed. It's time to go. You've learned what you need to learn. Five of Wands. We've got more to teach you. We can teach you even more. We swear we've got, and this is these guys, we've got more to share with you. That's the backdraft. And the voice is saying, you're loved with this Queen of Cups. You're loved. You know how to love yourself. You know how to nurture yourself. It's time to go. It might be sad, yes, but it is progress and you need to move forward. You can do this. Love carries you. And then we have Lovers, which is the choice card. And the voice is in there saying, good choice. This is where you need to be. Good choice. So we have one more question here. And by the way, even though I write these questions down, it could be several weeks since I did it, so I don't even remember what these questions are. To try to prepare ahead of time. All right, so let's throw these guys in where they belong. Okay, so question 6. Okay, it says, even when we escape, what part of it might stay with us forever? So this is saying that, I mean, I'm looking at it as a vision quest, and the question is kind of looking at it from the standpoint of what the man went through on the asteroid from the original Twilight Zone episode. So in this case, I'm going to say, even when we leave, what part of it might stay with us forever? Because we didn't really try to escape. Didn't really feel like we had to, although it might have been a little bit of an escape when it came to the memories of those people and, you know, they wanting to have us stay. More conversation, more things to work out, more. Okay, we had bringing up baby, rain of fire, and when you look at all these cards, it's really hard to imagine that the same ones come up multiple times in a reading like this, especially when they're put in random ways. And yeah, it just never fails to, and War of the Worlds never fails to amaze me. It's a different War of the Worlds card. Okay. New start. Okay, so the question was, even when we leave, what part of it might stay with us forever? Getting to know our childhood or child self. I think that would stay with us forever. The voice. I don't think that's something that's going to be forgotten either, is the voice. It's probably always going to stay in your head, kind of like when I brought up the dragon's voice in Merlin, if you've ever seen that. He's got a very distinctive voice. I believe it's William Hurt that plays that part, or that is the voice for the dragon. William Hurt, is that right? Anyway, I'll see if I remember to put something at the end. And War of the Worlds, you're not going to forget the fight, the war, the battle that you had with this voice at the start, or any battles that it brought forward. So we have Black Water, Forbidden Planet, and Material World. All of these things that you remember allowed you to come out and have a new start at things. It was almost as though, and I always look at the Black Water card as one of scrying, like you scry in a crystal ball, only you do this with water and black food coloring to try and see what the future has to share with you. And so I feel as though this whole isolation, this whole vision quest allowed you to see what life was going to be like for you, gave you a glimpse of the future, allowed you to experience things, and made you realize that this world out here is not a forbidden place for you. It's amazing, not forbidden. And then out to the material world you go. No fear, no worries. You know that you're going to be provided for. You've felt it, you've seen it. You know how to move forward. So here is Tarot's take. All right, so we have 8 of Cups, yeah, you mastered the love with your child self. No longer trying to remain separate. You've mastered the love. Emperor. You allowed that voice, and we've had the Emperor on Reign of Fire in another question. We've allowed that voice to lead the way, to guide us in whatever it felt we needed. 10 of Pentacles. We've gone from War of the World to being able to know that we have a legacy to pass down to others. That our life is a good life, worth living, for sure, worth living. Queen of Wands, this is the one who is giving the energy, the nurturing energy to this new start, giving passion for life. 4 of Wands, what you saw in the black water, what you saw in the scrying, what you experienced here, allowed you to see what a structured, stable, happy home would be like, that you could have passion for. 10 of Swords, you had the ultimate communication that allowed you to realize that this isn't a forbidden planet. It is an amazing planet. The ultimate communication. And the material world, you no longer have that feeling that you're backed up against a wall, or that you're exhausted, tired of living this life that you do because it's just too much. You went through all this to go out into the material world and find your place and change that exhausted energy into a dynamic energy to have fire for life. So that is it for this Twilight Zone-inspired episode 7. It is now time for the episode 8 teaser for next week. Next time, we enter a reality where everything feels perfect until the punchline lands. Is it fate, trickery, or just the universe having a laugh at our expense? So that is next week's episode teaser. Also on the screen, you will see the show schedule. I do 3 different shows each week, and it shows you the times on there too. So maybe one or both of those shows and this one will intrigue you and you'll take a look. But now I'm going to go, but I want to thank you first and say I appreciate so much having you stay with me to the end here and for being a part of this episode. So until next time, have a great week. Take care.